Truthless TV has asked for Kevin's opinion on the various Freemasonic orders and their connections to paedophilia.
Severe direct connection. I know all the judges in Canada are Masons and take Masonic pledges. Masonic temples are sources of routine child trafficking and killing. So yeah, it's another hand puppet of the same beast, right? So in a nutshell.
So Anonymous has ask Kevin about Kindlefresserbrunnen, 400-plus-year-old public statue in Switzerland of a man eating babies, and do the Swiss run Satanists? And why would the Queen care about Catholics? She's the head of a Protestant church.
Well, she's not head of a Protestant church. She's like in a strict sense, a Protestant is someone who believes that Christ is the head of the church. The Church of England says the Queen is the head of the church. The Catholic Church says the Pope is the head of the church. No, you have, to a Christian, Christ is the church, not a human figure. So I don't think that's splitting a theological fine point. I think that just comes from the definition of what a Protestant is. Anglicanism is being described as kind of warmed over Catholicism, right? They've got many of the same rituals and assumptions. They just got a different person running it, right? And the first part of the question, I'm sorry, again, was
Kindlefresserbrunnen, 400-plus-year-old public statue in Switzerland of a man eating babies. Thoughts on that, and whether Swiss run Satanists?
Well, yes, Switzerland is a source for a lot of stuff because it's secret. It's kind of like Canada. That in the areas that are least known, like Canada's vast, and so a lot of shit can happen here, right? And Switzerland is hidden. It's secretive. It's banks. It's whole thing. So yes, like a lot of the reports we had coming out were traceable back to Geneva, and one of the satanic high, kind of capitals of the world, from things I've read and heard from people. But again, this is like, it's a question of where is it not happening? Because you can go to anywhere in the world and you see this stuff going on. So the best guide is to trace the money, trace the places where you have unaccountable authorities like monarchs and popes and corporate heads. People are unaccountable, perfect cover for all of this crime, right?
Yeah, the Swiss had quite a role in recycling the Jewish money and gold,
Yep.
didn't they, as well, for the Nazis?
Very much. Yeah.
Di Kyle has asked, how does it all continue? Is it a grooming process started in the hives? The private schools, Oxford, Cambridge Uni, how do they recruit?
Well, it's out in the open, really. I mean, it's like, I'll give you a personal example. When I arrived in Port Alberni, I went as a young minister. The first gathering of ministers I went to, it's called the Presbytery. An old guy called Oliver Howard came over, and he worked on the mission boats going up and down the coast to the Indian villages for many years. And he said to me, we were talking away, and I asked about the Indians because there weren't any Indians in any of the churches. And I began to ask why. And he said, well, it's easy to get a native child if you want one. That's all he said. And I kind of looked at him oddly, like, what? Well, what are you talking about? And he then kind of checked me out and then said, oh, it's all right. It was a probe to see if I was interested. And then if I was, I'd go to the next stage. And I mean, those recruitment tactics are always quite visible because don't forget, these people feel they're God. They have nothing to fear. They're protected by the authorities. They can be very open about it. It's even reflected in movie scripts all the time, right? They kind of lay out their agenda all the time as if to say, haha, look what we're getting away with. It's like they get a rush off it, right? So secret societies are not that secret in reality. They like to create the impression of secrecy because it creates a sense of invulnerability. And that's how you keep the sheep in line, thinking these people are all powerful, but they're not. They're actually very mediocre as individuals. I found that when I went up against the church leadership, these guys are just pathetic as human beings, but they need to hide behind the institutional power, right? For that reason. So it's like the little man behind the mask in The Wizard of Oz, right? They're little shits. We shouldn't fear them at all.
like they laughed at us when they killed Epstein, and they may laugh at us when they kill Maxwell, and they don't care that we know, because to them the consequences are worse. You know. Anyway, all right, Animal Bob. Um, Thank you to both of you. I know researching and reporting on paedophilia and trafficking can take its toll. I've read a few articles about Kevin and how he lost everything by trying to get the truth out. Courage, temerity to forge on is incomprehensible. My question is, where would people go, or what would we research to start utilizing the same courts that tried and convicted the Queen? Is there any knowledge Kevin has that might help people to try those who seem untouchable?
Get this book, our common law training manual. We tell you how to do it, how to set up these courts, but the philosophy and history behind the common law as well, and including copy of Magna Carta, which people need to read, and the methods that you can use. Common law has universal jurisdiction. It doesn't require a statute in your country saying we recognize this. It comes out of natural law, which means anyone can do it. These are inborn liberties. So that's on Amazon. Kevin Annett, Establishing the Reign of Natural Liberty, a Common Law Training Manual. I urge you to get that. And contact me, thecommonland@gmail.com, because a lot of the work I do, we do online podcasts, we do personal appearances where I come and hold common law training workshops with people to walk through the steps of, how you set these things up. You know best your own situation, so you've got to organize it, but I'm kind of a catalyst for the process. And so it's really in your hands. You can adjudicate any issue. That's the point. It isn't just about child trafficking, any corruption, any crime going on. You have the power to name that. Don't forget, in your own inquiry, any court of law in the world has the power to take a verdict from a citizen inquiry and issue warrants based on it. That's why Ratzinger is still hiding out inside the Vatican, right? He knows he can be arrested if he comes out because of our verdict against him that forced him to resign in 2013. So we have great power, but we have to act on it, right? And the theory is one thing, but putting it into practice, it's a hard job, but it's one that pays off, right?
And Kevin's links are in the description box with the contact information down there if you want to just click down and follow up.